We have a very special guest in the house today in the shape and form of a wonderful woman, Yvonne I'Anson, who's come to visit us here to talk about a wonderful production that is on its way, winging its way to the Fairfield Halls here in Croydon. It's a new show. It's called Carnival Dreams, and it has a number of wonderful people associated with it, not least of all the actress Cheryl Ferguson, who a lot of us will remember was killed off in EastEnders, Our Darling Heather. So welcome to you, Yvonne. How are you?
Yeah, very good. Bit cold, but apart from that, I'm fine. Thank you.
Bit last minute getting you in as well. I do apologise.
Absolutely no problem. Pleasure to be here.
That's great. And are the cast actually rehearsing at the moment over there?
Today is the first day, so there's a real buzz of excitement.
I can imagine.
We're rehearsing at Fairfield Halls, which is great. And it's only a 2-week rehearsal period, or 2.5 weeks. Yeah. So it's not very long, but everybody is so enthusiastic and so excited because it's a world premiere.
Yes.
And that makes it so special. You know, we need new musicals, you know, much as we love the old Rodgers and Hammerstein and the West End wonderful Les Mis and Phantom and things like that.
I mean, I agree with you. I mean, I just recently went to see Grey Gardens at Southwark, which was astonishingly good. I mean, heart-stoppingly good. And I thought, okay, it is a new musical for the UK, and I hope it transfers, but we do need fresh blood, don't we?
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think it's good for people to see something new as well. And what's so exciting about this is it's been written by two gentlemen who live in Brighton, Norman Mark and Robert Orledge. And Norman actually wrote the musical a few years ago when he lived in Madeira.
Ah, right.
And he was commissioned to write it, but unfortunately logistics didn't allow for it to be performed. And it was always his passion to mount it. And he's raised the money himself to do it.
Wonderful.
He met Robert when he moved back to the UK. And so Robert joined forces with him to create some hauntingly original music. And it's just brilliant that these two men have come up with a vision that we're now bringing to life. And
absolutely. So let's talk about the story. It's set in Argentina.
It is.
Lovely. There's a great Noel Coward song, isn't there? Señorita Nina from Argentina. I always think of that, but hence me playing a tango. So what is the story in essence?
Well, there are lots of facets to this story, so I'm going to keep it in a nutshell, really. It, as you say, is based in Argentina, and it's about a small local dance group who are preparing for the annual samba competition, which takes place
not the tango competition. How funny, yeah.
Which takes place during the carnival. And it's quite a dysfunctional community group with lots of skeletons in the cupboard. And the musical sort of approaches certain problems that arise within communities, and that still, however politically correct we are, there are still inherent problems within communities. And Norman didn't want to lecture people about injustice and prejudice and bigotry and all these different issues. He wanted to make it a form of entertainment that people would take away and find inspiring. So, you know, there's Cheryl plays a woman called Teresa, who is an abused wife.
Right.
But she is fiercely loyal to her husband, as a lot of people who've been in that abusive situation
But also
are.
The setting is, you know, it's a Latin American country, a Catholic country,
yes.
Whole different traditions and way of life. So, you know, an abused, domestic situation, you know, it's going to be extremely different. And the woman, clearly the woman's reaction will be
of course,
different.
But I think these problems are all over the world in different communities, and that's been Norman's experience in the real world, for want of a better expression. Norman, he was a singer. He was a professional singer. He then retrained as a psychiatric nurse, and then he went on to start a company which specialises in equality, social care, and it is something he is hugely passionate about, and diversity. He calls it a musical of diversity, which it is.
So there's that thread is Cheryl's thread, as it were.
Cheryl's thread.
So what are the others?
And then we have a young couple, Cheryl's daughter, Christina, who is in love with a young man called Duarte. The problem with Duarte is that he is a young, beautiful black boy, and the father objects to that relationship. So there's the racism element, and that could apply, be it, a different religion or a different nationality. He's very anti the relationship. It's now.
It is now?
Yes, it is.
So is Norman's experience that these issues are still very prevalent in Argentina then, or was it just he's using that as a base?
No, he's using that as a base because of the samba, the Latin American dance element. But in his experience, he's found it in communities all over the world.
Okay.
And that's something his work still is very much involved in.
Absolutely. Okay, so we have these wonderful characters, but how do they all, as it were, collide in that case in the story?
Well, they're coming together. The dance competition brings them together.
Right.
So you've got the glitz, the glamour, the sequins, the feathers of the carnival, which is all fab. And we've got fabulous choreography by a very young, talented choreographer called Penelope Simons, who loves Latin American dance. That's one of her passions,
well, it helps,
which
doesn't
is
it?
great. Yeah. So there'll be all that sort of buzz. These diverse people are brought together to do something, to create something, and yet there are underlying problems. There's, there's Cheryl and her husband, the two lovers. There's another couple, a very embittered woman called Maria, whose ex-husband he was an ex-dance champion. He actually is secretly gay, and that's why they're divorced, but nobody knows. It's their relationship.
There's a lot going on in 2 hours, isn't there?
A lot going on.
and lots of singing and dancing. But, I mean, it's clearly, it's a thought-provoking piece, but it's not going to be a depressing show, I hope.
No, it's not. We describe it as dark and sexy and provocative.
Okay.
It's going to have lots of fun elements, but it's also going to make you think. You will laugh, but you'll cry, and you will be inspired, and you'll go out and you'll think, we should all, really, wouldn't it be wonderful if we could all live together and accept everybody for what they are?
Well, I can't see that happening in my lifetime, but certainly to go to a piece of entertainment that is thought-provoking, I think there's nothing wrong with that. Now, is it family-friendly, i.e., can an under-18 person go and see this show?
Yeah, we recommend that it's not suitable really for children under 12. I mean, children are very streetwise now, and they're very aware of things that are going on. Under 12s, it's not right for, but over 12s would be fine.
So it's still a bit of a family outing.
Yeah,
yes, that's what we want to get across. And we want the people of Croydon and the surrounding areas, because we don't just have people from Croydon listening to us. They're literally all over the world. I've got German listeners tuned in right now as well. I don't know if they'll fly out, but in any event, if it goes into Europe, they'll probably come and see it. So you have quite a cast list, shall we say, of new young actors, but also in terms of the production team, you have quite a famous director too, don't you?
We do. Another former EastEnders star, the lovely Andrew Linford.
Yeah, I remember him as well.
Played Simon Raymond. And, Andrew's career is diversified over the years, and he has really, really established himself as a wonderful, wonderful director. And so he's the ideal person to bring this together. So Andrew is heading the task force, so to speak, directing. We have an amazing producer, Stuart Morrison, who has brought lots of shows to Croydon before.
Yeah, I know the name.
Yeah, he's great. Do you know, he had to go. He had the task of going to source the costumes for the carnival. So his flat was covered in feathers and sequins for weeks.
Should have gone to the samba school in Waterloo. They'd have given him costumes. But, well, look, we're going to play a little bit of music for a couple of minutes, and then we're going to come back, talk about when it's happening and how people can get tickets, and talk about you, because you're an interesting person in your own right, and I'd like the listeners to hear a little bit about what you've been up to as well. So I put together a little, what I call a mashup of tracks from shows.
Fab.
A little bit of Broadway there just to keep us in the mood. I just want to remind you that I am talking to... Oh, who am I talking to? Here's your introduction. Oh, no, it's not Rose. It's Yvonne I'Anson I'm talking to. Didn't want to get you all confused. We're talking about a new show coming to the Fairfield Halls on the 3rd of February. It's called Carnival Dreams, and it's starring one of the most recent stars to be killed off, unfortunately. And I loved the character of Heather, or Hev, as they call her in EastEnders, Cheryl Ferguson, who we knew could sing because she was a big Wham fan or George Michael fan in the show and was always doing the karaoke, wasn't she?
She certainly was, yeah.
Yes, no, yeah. So she's terrific. So we're looking forward to that. So your job at the moment, because I don't think I explained exactly what your connection is with the show. What are you actually doing?
Right, I'm the publicist for the show. So I've been involved for the last sort of couple of months or so, promoting the show. A publicist has so many different things to do, you know, getting out press releases, liaising with the cast, putting programs together, things like that, you know. So that's my role, and just trying to bring everything together and let people know the show's on.
Because you've been in the business a long time, I'm not going to tell people how long because that would be rude, but let's just say you started young and you've been in and around theatre all your working life. And I mean, I noticed that you work with Richard Digby Day and all kinds of amazing people over the years. But obviously the nature of how you work has so dramatically changed. Do you like the fact that you have so many more marketing tools in terms of internet, etc.?
I think anything that helps make people more aware of live theatre is good. I mean, I'm not a huge social media fan. I'm of an age that it's sort of... but it is such a big marketing tool now, and it opens so many doors. And, you know, it is good that I think things are changing. I think also it's sad, though, that we're losing things like, you know, printed newspapers aren't as popular as they used to be.
But it does save trees, though, doesn't it?
Yes, I suppose it does. But I mean, it's like I can't cope with a Kindle. I have to have a book in my hand.
Me too. I hate Kindles. It's not like reading to me. No, I'm still a book queen. It's true. But I mean, in terms of, you know, the way that you can disseminate information now, I mean, how wonderful, because you can put things on YouTube.
Absolutely.
All that sort of thing, which is free publicity for you. And it has to be a good thing, surely, for a budget.
Absolutely, because, you know, the cost of advertising shows. I mean, before I started working on this, I was working for a leading drama school for 15 years, and we had a huge, advertising budget because that was the way we got people in. And then all of a sudden, Twitter and Facebook took over, and that, for a lot of drama schools, for example, has replaced their prospectus. They don't need to print a prospectus anymore.
And it means you can keep it updated and regular.
Absolutely.
No, I mean,
absolutely.
I'm an old bird. You know, I'm 55, and I've been in the entertainment world for, getting on for 35 years myself as an actor and as a singer and a musician, etc. But the time now I find very exciting for the way that I can disseminate my work. I may not be getting paid for the dissemination of the work, but it's actually getting people to listen to it. So on reflection, I think it's probably a good thing.
As I say, I think anything that makes people aware. I mean, we cannot ever lose live theatre. It is so vital. I don't think you will. It is so vital. But people have got to support it. And this time of year, nobody wants to go outside. It's cold. They're happier wrapped up in their, in their snuggle blanket and keeping warm.
Yes, but you're not on till the beginning of February, by which time they've had enough of being indoors and they've been paid. Good
exactly.
timing, Yvonne.
Yeah.
So, I mean, apart from working on this project, you also work as a freelance marketing consultant
Yes.
and things like that.
Yes, I do. And for various organisations, I work for a company called Associated Studios, who deal with professional development for actors and opera singers and musical theatre performers. I do lots of one-to-one advice sessions with actors. Actors are terribly insecure a lot of the time.
we are
and,
indeed.
you know, understandably, it's an insecure business. And, you know, sometimes they need advice about how to write letters, how to, you know, what their photographs are like, how to move on.
It's very important, I think, because, you know, just because you're a musician or an actor doesn't mean that you are a self-publicist or a marketeer. And unfortunately, more so than ever, you have to be into self-promotion. And that goes against the grain for lots of us.
I mean, one of the things actors I find dislike, or a lot of actors dislike, is networking.
Yeah.
And it is so important to their careers.
Absolutely.
And it's really funny with actors, because this is where new technology can be a bit of a downer, because sometimes they get a bit carried away on Facebook and Twitter. Not a good idea. And also they think it's all right to just email a casting director or email an agent. And I don't know what you're like, but I know that if I see an email from somebody I don't know, I possibly won't open it. It'll probably stay in my inbox.
Well, it depends how busy you are. I mean,
Exactly.
if you're Billy No Mates like me, I open it.
But an agent and casting director
they're
is
too busy.
hugely busy.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
sometimes you've got to use snail mail, you know, and younger actors go, what? You know,
I know. I mean, back in the day, I remember having to get, you know, the 10 by 8 photographs done and
Exactly.
the envelope and
Yeah.
write the letter and the CV and post it
Yeah.
off. It cost a fortune.
Yes,
I hated
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Never mind.
Yeah.
So let's get back to why you're here,
Yeah.
which is Carnival Dreams, which is opening when until when?
It opens on Wednesday the 3rd of February and it runs until Saturday the 6th of February at the Ashcroft Theatre in the Fairfield Halls. Evening performances are 7:30 and we have 2 matinees on the Thursday and the Saturday at 2:30.
And
so
tickets are now online
they're
and available.
now on sale either by phone, in person or online through the Fairfield Halls.
Fantastic.
And we've got some great offers. So if you came on the first night, we're doing 2 tickets for the price of 1.
Wow, okay.
Which is a real bargain. And also if you wanted to come as a group, for groups of 10 or more, which to be fair, a family could very soon get a group
Absolutely.
of 10, you can get tickets for £10 each.
Sounds like a brilliant deal to me.
We just really want to encourage people to support new musical theatre.
Yes.
And that's really important, you know.
Excellent. So how else are you getting the information out? I hope that you've got the local press coming to talk
The
about
local
it.
press have been very supportive.
Great.
They've been great. We've had lots of listings and coverage in various magazines. This has such a wide
You've got the Brit
spectrum.
School locally.
We've got the Brit
so
School.
hopefully they'll all come down.
Yeah, we've written to all the drama schools, encouraging
Excellent.
them to come and support new musical theatre. And schools as well. We're very keen to get schools in. Hopefully, if this project develops more, there are so many opportunities for outreach work with this, because it tackles so many issues that young people need to be aware of.
Not just young people, I'd say.
Well,
there's
everybody, but it
absolutely.
but it is a good educational
Absolutely.
tool, I think.
Well, look, Yvonne, it's a great pleasure to have you come and talk to me. And we wish the production huge success.
Oh, thank you.
And I, dear listeners, will be popping along later this week to interview some of the cast members and hopefully the producer as well. And we'll put out a special show, hopefully even with some music clips to whet your appetite. And get your backsides down to the Fairfield Halls from the 3rd to the 6th of February. If you don't, I'll want to know why. In the meantime, you're going to probably run straight back to the cast now and tell them you've had a lovely time, hopefully.
I certainly am, yes.
Send our love and best wishes to them all from Croydon Radio, and great good luck, and I look forward to meeting them all soon. In the meantime,
Fantastic.
thank you very much, Yvonne I'Anson.
Thank you.